So whether you've ever noticed it or not, adjectives in music are very abstract. Why so abstract, you might ask? Well, the reason may be something that you never really even thought about before. We don't have descriptive words to describe sound as much as we do other senses. So let's explore that in today's episode. Today, we are talking about abstract adjectives. Music has so many abstract ways to describe what you're hearing. If you're an adjective junkie like me, I really love descriptive words. Think of a quilt or a blanket. It's fluffy, it's soft. Or taste, something can be sweet, something can be sour. When you see something, it can be all these different colors. It can be green, it can be blue, it can be all the colors you can think of. But for sound, we don't have many descriptive words. Our words you can run out, you can just throw out words constantly all day when it comes to your other four senses. You can think of words for sight, for taste, for touch, and there is smell. So in addition to that, we have what we can hear, sound waves. Your ears process these tangible sound waves that are traveling through the air, but we don't have as many adjectives to describe it. We have volume. We can say something is loud, something is soft, but other than that, we start running out of adjectives and we start pulling from other senses. Oh, that sounds so sweet. Well, sweet describes taste, doesn't it? Technically, I mean, sweet has expanded to mean other things. That's not even the half of it, really. We are going to get super abstract today in the music that we dive into and the adjectives I'm going to use to describe them. Because really, if you know how to describe something, you know how to replicate it. And on this channel, I try to do that all the time. In order to replicate what I'm hearing, I need to put a word to it to describe what I'm hearing, even though it doesn't necessarily mesh with the sense of hearing. Hope that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to throw my Moog on right now. All right, so a word that comes to mind when I hear that, punchy. It's punchy. It has like a bit of a bellow kind of talk about getting abstract. It sounds like when you hear something that's punchy, but your ears are full of water, and it has that kind of like, it feels like a layer of water kind of cushioning that punchiness. You hear it. I know you hear it. So I'm going to throw it into a different direction. I'm going to play around with this for a minute, not even a minute, until I feel like I have more to describe. I'm going to say metallic. It feels very elemental, like something metallic that's being hit. All right, blue spectrum. Let's see what that sounds like. It feels like cosmic. Like I'm getting kind of like a Star Trek. That's just the nerd in me coming out, really. But it feels like very like cosmic, like space, the final frontier. Again, not a word that describes sound. Dementia. It is actually pretty creepy. I like that. It's pretty creepy. I'm actually going to favorite that one. Dementia. I'm going to play around with it for a second. I want you to try to think of an adjective to describe this. To me, this sounds hollow. And there's definitely like a voice, like a wah kind of thing in there. It's vocal sounding. It's like voice based, I think, but it sounds hollow, almost like they took the actual meat of the sound out of it to make it sound ghostly. Glitchy sound effects. So this is going to sound glitchy. Now, if you're familiar with the word glitchy, you know that really kind of pertains to something that a computer does or your phone. It's glitching, right? So whoever wrote this is like, I'm going to make a sound that sounds like a glitch. I didn't expect that. I don't know. I was expecting something else. Does this sound like a glitch to you? It sounds industrial. That's a whole genre we could unpack. It sounds like you're making music with like lead pipes and things that you'd find on a construction site. All right, I was going to get off of this whole category altogether, but I couldn't resist. Berserk robot birds. What does that sound like? Paul Schilling, what did you do? I didn't know how long that was going to go on for. I was starting to think that the berserk robot birds were in the room with me, honestly. Whatever. That was funny, and then it got old. Guitar for robots. We're just going in a weird direction. This is not where I meant to go. All right, it's pretty. That's a word that I naturally just said it's pretty. But when we say pretty, doesn't that normally describe how someone looks? Visual. There you go. Bowed string, sad day for cello. Cello had a rough day. All right, let's see. There are so many different adjectives to describe the cello. I mean, this wasn't it's a beautiful cello sound, but it's not really an effect. And I think I'm trying to lean more in the direction of an effect. It's swelling. It's warm. It's like the cello is just such a warm instrument. There we go. Warm, that describes something that we feel with our skin. We feel warm, but it's a warm emotional feeling. We're going to go to a square sound. So in a synthesizer typically has at least 2 oscillators. Go back and check some of my videos where I talk about how oscillators are like the cooking pot for a synthesizer. You mix all the sound up in those oscillators. But one of the specific sounds you can start with in an oscillator is a square wave. So here it's a square wave. I know how I feel about a square wave. Do you know how you feel about a square wave? My thing was Sega Genesis and Sega Saturn. That's where I really started. So sorry, Nintendo people. All right, so a square wave to me, first of all, if I start thinking about Mario and the music of Mario, I know it's probably a square wave. You know, that old 8-bit sound. The way that I think about it is I think buzzy. Buzzy might actually be more in the direction of an actual description of sound than any of the others that I've named so far, but it's buzzy to me. And the reason is because a square wave gives off a very harsh harmonic overtone because the top angles of it are so like right angle. It's very angular. It creates this buzzy harshness. All right, one more. I'm gonna pick another wobbler. Now, to wobble, that's like a physical action, you know? So if you were to imagine a sound that wobbles, not getting wobbling so much. It kind of sounds like the engine of a car. It sounds mechanical. It's a dirty lead. It sounds dirty. And that in and of itself is a descriptive adjective that doesn't describe sound. Dirty is a word that we use when we're describing sound, though. It's dirty. Oh, you know what's happening? It's like wobbling the pitch. I think that's where the wobble is. I had fun with this. I could see myself doing more episodes like this in the future. If you give more words to describe what you're experiencing, you recognize things quicker next time, you appreciate them more, and you're more aware of what you like and what you don't like if you can give it a name. So with that, I will leave you to like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. This is Sound Paint. We explore sound and we appreciate stuff. And I appreciate you for watching through this video. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.